IPF World Championships here live in Druskininkai, Lithuania. I am Ryan Sixpack Lapidat, accompanied in the booth with Amelia Potter. Amelia, today we have the men's open 66 kilo class and the women's 52 kilo class. And the 66 of course, is the return of reigning world champion Shell Becklin, legend in the game, world champion both in and out of equipment, 20-year veteran, looking to capture yet another world title. And in the 52 kilo class, of course, Megan Lee Smith of New Zealand, looking to keep that legacy going, but she will face stern opposition from Netherlands' Plyn Dekkers, forever grabbing that squat world record and eyeing up a potential upset. Amelia, what are your expectations from the 66s and the 52s?
Like you said, a couple of big names in Chell going up against newer young blood in Austin Nikolai from the United States, who's not going to have an easy run trying to prove himself, with Yusuke Sasaki from Japan coming in as well with a very similar total. Of course, with Joseph Jordan within that fight as well, and with records on the line in the 52 kilo class, we have a whole lot of fun to look forward to in that.
Agreed. And Carlos Castillo, 207.5, representing Canada.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
And there's only 8 lifters in each of these flights. We're going to move quickly, and lifters got to be able to adjust to this brisk pace. Leong, 212.5, representing Singapore.
Yeah, like you said, unlike some of the longer flights, the largest being 14 that we can get, 8 is a pretty quick turnaround. You know, we're still at the lighter weight classes, so the recovery hopefully is a little easier for them, but very dependent on how they choose to train heading into competition as well.
We'll see how this affects some of the lifters, even the younger ones like Austin Nikolai, still a veteran in the juniors, a junior worlds. So they've traveled, they faced IPF judging and their own adversity, and obviously going through the meat grinder that is U.S. Nationals. He's battle tested.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, because Nikolai went to Costa Rica for Worlds last year, which, you know, is just downwards from him, so not a huge amount of travel compared to Lithuania, so it'll be very interesting to see if that was any different.
Time zone wise, for sure. Depends if you extended an extra leg on that travel like Russell Orhe. Mirko Simonelli, 225.
And speaking of adjusting, Simonelli has had to, by the looks of it, bring down his opening squat attempt as well, so perhaps just taking it as it comes based on how warm-ups are feeling here. It's a bit of a tough opener there. Gets it up and is on the board. Ryan, what do you make of that here on the replay? Maybe that's why he decided to lower that opener. Warm-up's not feeling too great.
Yeah, I mean, you know, ordinarily I'd say I don't want to read too much into it, but the fact that he lowered his opener, maybe feeling something in terms of that cut. And Kyoto Ushiyama of Japan, 227.5.
Certainly not one to look over. Kyoto has competed at Sheffield before, a huge 66, and nominated in second behind Chell based off openers.
Kyoto has ventured into the 74s, was a contender in the 66s previously, done everything in terms of powerlifting, 2 different weight classes, did some bodybuilding, and yeah, he is a huge 66. Scouting reports on Kyoto, he's a threat as long as he can hang on to those deadlifts. If he can lock out his second or third deadlift, he will have a monster total, be a serious threat for potentially the silver medal. Speaking of silver medal threats, Joe Jordan, opening with 235. Joe is hit as heavy as 732.5 with the total. Pretty clean spread from Shell, but one of the front runners for a silver medal.
And if we've seen anything in powerlifting is that athletes miss, and that can be capitalized on. We've seen upsets before, and we've seen projected winners fall down.
Yeah, nothing is just because you're nominated heavy. It's no guarantee, and 50-kilo spreads even get mitigated with some disasters. Joe Jordan, 232.5, looks very nice.
Yeah, that was a really strong looking opener from Jordan. Seems very cool, calm and collected walking off the platform. Joe Jordan 2 years off of M1, and in a stark difference here, still in the juniors.
Austin Nikolai up next, 235 for his opener. Austin had a battle at U.S. Nationals. He was not the favorite going in, but he leaves the U.S. National Team champion, earning his spot. He can pull off upsets, enters the World Championships, also an underdog once again, but you can't count him out. That looks good. Wow, that was snappy.
Very, very comfortable, and it is a good lift, and probably not what they have their eye on today, but worth mentioning that the junior world record, as he's still a junior, is 258 on the squats. It's a comfortable 235 in his opener.
Sataki opening with 235. Grizzled veteran of the game. Easy 235.
And a good lift, 3 white lights.
And Shell, that's not Shell. Shell Becklin.
Looking a little different these days.
He just might be the most decorated lifter in the unequipped division, especially if you add the fact he's won championships, World Games, in and out of equipment, Sheffield champion, 2 division weight class world champion, 245 for his opener. Well, what do you think, Amelia? Looked like a bit of work there.
It did, and you know, with a lot of other athletes, I might be a little bit more worried. I've seen Shell push through some pretty difficult squats. Doesn't mean that we'd want the opener to look a little bit tough, but hopefully not an indication of a difficult cut or any struggle there. But it was a bit harder than I think we'd want to see.
With Shell, again, he's got a 50-kilo gap, at least in nominations. Even if his total comes down, he should be reasonably safe. Weighed in at 65.75. Carlos back 217.5 for the Canadian, jumping 10 kilos. Nice, smooth second attempt for the Canadian.
3 white lights, a good lift. And having fun with it too.
Weong, 225.
slowed down. Hit quite a big sticking point there in the middle. Managed to nod his way to the top. But maybe a little tough for a second, Ryan. What do you think?
I'm anticipating a small jump on his third. Yeah, definitely butt shot back, chest a little bit bowed. Able to push through it. And Mirko, 235 for Simonelli's second attempt. 10-kilo jump.
Now we know he dropped that opening attempt, and that opener looked a little tougher than maybe he expected, but jumping 10 kilos, perhaps confident that there was something that he can fix up, that he has the strength today.
His personal best is 240.
Yeah, so he's right next door to it. Yeah.
Like, if we're honest, that opener we both thought a little bit more work than expected.
Well, that's why I was, a little hesitant. I thought, okay, maybe it was something he was confident he could change, but this might have just been an instance of they were sticking with the original plan instead of adapting somewhat on the day. Still hasn't a shot at that on his third, but we'll have to see.
Kyoto Ushiyama, 240. He was part of the classic battle in 2024 Worlds when we were back here in Lithuania. One of the best battles we've seen in any weight class. Oh my goodness!
Wow!
Do you believe the heart on this young man?
2-1, it is a good lift and a fantastic fight. The only issue is that was his second attempt.
Yeah, that wasn't a third. Listen, he won that fight, but at what cost?
Yeah.
You got, do you even come out for another 2.5 kilos? I don't think draining the tank is worth 2.5 kilos. Rest up, young man. Bench press. Save it for deadlifts, because again, deadlifts, a bad habit of not being able to complete second and thirds.
I would have to agree with you, especially when you're right there in the fight, and you have a pretty good buffer as it stands. We'll have to see if he chooses to come out for that third.
Joe Jordan, 245. Joe also was here 2 years ago in Lithuania for that classic battle.
Still 15 kilos off Joe Jordan's best here. The SVI taking what they have, making the sensible jumps.
Yeah, doing 232.5 back home is entirely different than Worlds. Very competitive. If he wants to end up on the podium. And you know what? That moved like a second should. I like the attempt selection here when I got to look at 245 here. What you've done previously doesn't matter on the day.
No, and sometimes who wins World isn't even who's strongest on the day, it's who has the best day. It is a sport after all. It's the skill and the strength you have as well as the game that you play.
Sataki, 247.5.
Just 2.5 kilos under Satake's best squat of 250.
Nice catch by the spotters and loaders. And again, if any of these gentlemen are feeling even slightly off, we are moving very quickly with only 8 lifters in this flight.
That's why it's so important to be able to adapt. And that's not just on the athletes, that's heavily on the coaches as well. But I've got to say, a lot of these seconds are either being missed or look very, very difficult, bar 1 or 2.
Resembling third attempts, 252.5, Shell Becklin.
Now Shell's opener looked a little sticky, so I'd be interested to see what this 252.5 looks like. His best is 260. Yeah, about the same.
Stickier. You know what? So I'm thinking he has a decision to make. He doesn't need to come out for his third. With his opening bench and deadlift, he's already at 732.5, which is Joe Jordan's PR total. He can leave his third squat take a couple benches, take a couple deadlifts, he should be well ahead.
I would agree that he can do that, but knowing Cho as a sportsman, I think he's more likely to come out for a third.
Well, time will tell. Austin Nikolai, 257.5.
Now, this is a pretty hefty jump for Austin, 22.5 kilos.
Yeah, that's big.
Opener was lovely.
Especially just a lovely opener, especially in the 66 kilo class. That's a big jump.
Making a statement here on his second, and let's hope it moves like a second more than some of the attempts we've seen. Wow, and it does.
Nicely done. And the American pacing well, despite the fact it's a quick turnaround. That could make the difference. Going into American Nationals, again, he was an underdog. He adjusted on the day, capitalized, and took the title.
He's also the lightest in the entire flight at 65.5 kilos.
If anything comes down to body weight, Austin, for what it's worth, is in the lead. And then in the projected, of course, Shell, sizable advantage. 227.5 for Carlos Castillo of Canada.
And we've seen some seconds look like thirds, and now some thirds that look a bit more like seconds. It's a great attempt.
It's a mixed bag.
There's not always a need, especially if you're not necessarily in that top fight, to empty the tank on that third attempt. Better keep some energy for those remaining 6 lifts.
As a matter of fact, staying in your lane, sometimes a lane opens up that you wouldn't have seen coming into the championships. You've seen that as well. 232.5. Lee Ong of Singapore.
Be a 2.5 kilo personal best should he make it. Seems like the perfect number.
I agree. Right on the money. 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded. 3 attempts to change over for the 52. 3 attempts.
Mirko Simonelli, 235 once again. 225 was a lowered opener. 235 looked like it was cut by strength. But it wouldn't be the first time we saw a lifter miss a lift, what looks like on strength, come back and hit.
Wow.
And it looks like we might have seen it again. Judges agree 2-1.
He has a yellow for the far side.
At the World Championships, he's starting to get used to this kind of thing. He rocks back on his heels right here, and it looked iffy, started helicoptering on him, but figured it out. Kyoto Ushiyama, 242.5. 2.5 kilo jump. That's probably best. 240 was a struggle. It's going to take a titanic effort to collect these 2.5 kilos onto his total. But with Austin Nikolai, Joe Jordan, he might need those 2.5 kilos if he's going to walk away with a medal. But if I'm honest, the odds were against him.
Yeah, and we were surprised, like you said, it might have benefited him to X out that final attempt, but the silver lining is, you know, he didn't try to push too long past it, he failed quickly, and in that case, he knew it wasn't going and saved the energy he could.
Yusuke Sataki, 247.5, missed this on his second. Only 4 more squats to go. We are moving fast. And it looks like it's happened again. 3 white lights. You cannot count these lifters out.
That's the thing. If they are the top 8 in the world, and they are the top 8 in the world for a reason, they know how to fix an issue if it arises.
Joe Jordan, 252.5. Joe is hit as heavy as 260, a little below that, but his second attempt looked like work, and this third is no different. You gotta wonder if he's on 100%. 245 is 15 kilos below what we've previously seen out of Joe.
I mean, out of those top contenders, really, we've only seen Nikolai and Backlund so far on that top form, with misses from Kyoto and Jordan. But with Backlund and Nikolai to still take their third attempts, we'll see how that pans out.
Shell, 272.5, 601 pounds.
Now this is only 2.5 kilos under his best ever squat. You wondered if he would come back out.
Oh my gosh! And that is why he is Shell Backlund. He just finds another, and here's the thing, he found another level, another gear, and he's unpressed. It's not like he needs these kilos.
That's what I'm saying. When you were wondering, is it worth coming out for that third? That is a good question, but again, Shell is the type of athlete, the athlete that he is, that he's here to compete even if he has that advantage.
Top form for Shell. 272.5 for Austin Nikolai.
Yeah, and I said that world record junior squat was within reach, and that is standing at 258 at the moment, obliterating that, the current open world record at 275.5, so 3 kilos off of it here in his third attempt, Ryan.
Fighting for that lockout and nails it.
Wow.
272.5 for,
I was a little worried he might have cut depth there. Coach goes to the jury. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. He gets a yellow from this side, not a red, and the jury are discussing it.
You know what? Well, I mean, from this side, it wasn't depth.
Yeah. And the record stands on hold as we wait tentatively.
There is, we're showing the squat right now. Oh, looks like it's not going to pass. Austin Nikolai still leaves. Well, actually, Shell had more than 257.5. Or no, Shell had 257.5. So that Austin leaves with the gold medal, Shell, silver medal, and Sataki with the bronze.
We head now immediately into the 52 kilo class. Farhana Farid from Singapore leading us out with 137.5. Lovely opening at 10. Farhana, of course, with a huge deadlift on her, holding the world record.
The bar is loaded.
We have now Margit Fawal from Hungary, and she has made some phenomenal progress recently. At the Euros, I'd have to fact check, but added tens of kilos onto her total, and she's made it now into the A group at Worlds, 145 kilos in the bar. That's a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
Vanessa Pineda from the United States, 150 kilos in the bar. That is a good lift, 3 white side. A little bit of a scrappy squat perhaps, just some first squat nerves there. Now Léa Lucas from France. Last year dropped down from the 57s, getting stronger and stronger in the 52s, opening at 155, 10 kilos below her personal best. Certainly someone to watch for the future.
Earlier today in the 52s, 51-year-old Liz Craven posted up 425 and led the pack for Flight B.
Smooth looking opener for Lucas.
Yep.
2-to-1, good lift, but just a depth call from that left side referee. Sometimes that closer stance is a little harder to tell.
The bar is loaded.
Eliza Gerlach from Poland coming out for 157.5. Just 5 kilos below her best.
It's a bit of work for an opener as well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. It's hard to tell not knowing her specific squat style, but if I was to look at it objectively, quite slow for an opening attempt.
The bar is loaded.
With 3 squats remaining here in the opening attempts, Catherine Gagne from Canada, looking 162.5. A definite podium contender. Only 7.5 below Catherine's best squat.
It's going to be a battle to get onto that podium. Looks like a good opener for Kat.
And it is a good lift. And our penultimate opening attempt, Megan Lee Smith has absolutely shot up and exploded the last couple of years. Her training has gone so well. She's got so much stronger, and she is coming in today dominating. And let's see if she can put up the performance that we are expecting from her. 167.5 her opening attempt. Her best squat is 180, just 2.5 kilos below the world record.
Her openers alone have her at 465.
Yeah, the world record total at 482.5. That's something to think about.
Oh my gosh. Maybe just a little bit of a bobble. Holy moly.
And we said, you know, the only thing that can really get in her way today is herself.
This is not the script.
No, certainly not, but she's competed enough. You know, it's not a strength issue, it's a pause squat, so hopefully she can get her head back in the game and come back for that. Trouble. Plun Deckers, of course, coming out last for squat, holding the world record for quite a few years now, 182.5. Plun actually dropped her opening squat, but still opening 10 kilos below the world record.
She has been pushing this world record for years. What you want to see, and if you're wondering, Megan Lee Smith opting to retake that weight, you got to wonder, does that set her back then? Because her third, is she going to go for her planned second weight? And how much does that knock kilos off of her total?
Listen, you said how much of a lead she has based off of her openers. It would be silly at this point, without even a squat on the board, to try and risk going up, I think. So I think it's a smart move from Team New Zealand.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Heading into the second round, all bar Smith on the board. Farhana Farid, 145, just 2.5 kilos below her best. A bit of a wobble at the top, but I don't think it caused her any issues. It's a good lift. Openers and seconds, mostly looking more like openers and seconds here compared to the 66s.
Yeah, ironically, albeit Megan Lee Smith, which is our heavy favorite coming in.
155 for Margit Fawal. 10 kilo jump, 5 off her best. So still progressing at a heavy rate. It's interesting, just heading back to Megan Lee here, is she spent a lot of time pushing, you know, that total up, with Evie being in the class as well, and now it's her first time in a minute internationally protecting and leading, and I'm wondering if that's having any sort of impact.
She's got an opportunity to take 167.5, treat it like an opener, and then the decision what thirds is going to look like.
Vanessa Pineda from the United States, taking a 5 kilo jump to 155. Like you said, her opener a little bit scrappy. Let's see if she can tighten this up here. Looks better so far.
Yep. Looked a lot like the opener did.
2 to 1, a good lift with a depth pull on the left side.
The bar is loaded.
Jury are discussing it. And looks like almost overruled to a no lift, but not in complete agreement, so it looks like she'll be safe. And the clock is running down for Eliza Gerlach from Poland. 165 loaded for her, which would be a 2.5 kilo personal best. If successful, this will move her into squat silver for the time being. Still with Lucas, Smith, Gagne and Deckers to follow in the second round.
Oh, wow. That's a tough, yeah. In terms of second attempts, she was working awfully hard through that midsection and failed just that lockout. You know what? The depth was probably pretty close on the line as well.
I remember her opener being a little slow. We were talking about that as well. Leia Lucas, France, 165 for a matched personal best. Definite podium contender, as we said before.
Yeah, between Leah Lucas and Catherine Gagne for the bronze medal. It's going to be tight.
Oh, now that surprises me. She looked very strong out of the hole.
And that does, I mean, she's got another lift, but Farhana isn't far off herself, has a monster deadlift and can start pulling ahead. A lot of lifting left to go, but we're seeing some shakeups here in the 52 kilo class.
Do you think 10 kilos was just a little overzealous there for the jump?
Easy 2020 hindsight, but I'd say, yeah, I'm very interested in how this moves.
So Megan Lee Smith, clear favorite to win, retaking 167.5. Paused her squat on the way up, continued it fine, but got 3 blues on her opening attempt. Now looking to retake it, hopefully much smoother to get herself on the board and to keep Plundeckers protecting silver.
Depth for sure.
Much better.
Nice. All right, we're back on track. We needed this weight to move convincingly. She's definitely lost some ground. She's likely not to take the third weight that she was planned coming in, but she had some ground she could lose and still retain a lead. It depends how Plum plays it from here.
Yeah, and looking at where she opened, I imagine, and her PB, I imagine she would have stabbed potentially at the world record, but now it's, like you said, to protect that lead. Catherine Gagne now 172.5. This would be a 2.5 kilo personal best. Catherine, I think, had maybe the most comfortable opener out of the 8. A good lift. A depth call from the center referee. Usually, and I say usually, tentatively, if the sides referees are happy with it.
The jury's actually deliberating in front of us.
Yeah, that's why. And they've overruled it to a no lift, and that's where the tentativeness comes from. Unfortunately, as a no lift for Catherine.
Yeah, again, another podium favorite, missing lifts early.
Plundeckers 180, 2.5 kilos off her world record. A second attempt here before we head through to that third and final round of squats. Wow!
That was difficult.
And unexpected from Plum, who's clinical with squats.
She usually just pushes that squat world record every international meet. And this has been a surprising squat session, it's got to be said. This is the second round of squats, and we're seeing a lot of fails or close ones anyways.
I can't imagine they'll go anywhere else except 183 anyway. You know, she has to jump 2.5. I imagine their thought process there is, why not the extra half kilo? But we'll have to see. She is now looking to push Megan if she can, and the chip would help. As we move through to that third round for Hannah Farid, 152.5, 5 kilo personal best. Should she make this?
Caught by the spotters, and at a time when possibly a door had been opening for Farhana with some other podium threats missing, she misses her third squat. Ordinarily you think that's got to set you back, but today with so many misses, I'm not sure. It might just wash out. I don't know.
It really is so hard to tell right now. Yeah, crazy squat session thus far. Let's see how it caps off. 160 for Vanessa Pineda, another 5 kilo jump. Second got a red from the left side referee. It looked a little tough. Let's see if she can add an extra 5 here for a match personal best.
And talk about heart on that young lady.
3 white lights, a good lift, and what an incredible fight there. Look at that.
Hits depth, gets pushed around a little bit by the weight, but she struggles to the lockout.
Margit for a while, 162.5 kilos, or a 2.5 kilo personal best here. I'm pretty comfortable at that.
The bar is loaded.
Eliza Gerlach looking to retake 165. Looks like a strength issue on that second. This would move her, if successful, into squat bronze for the time being. Leia Lucas to take the same weight, heavier. But then we have Smith and Gagne to follow. Could also take that off her.
Huge fight, and slowed down exactly where she had for a second attempt, only this time never stops.
What a turnaround that is. Again, it looked like a strength issue in the second, but she managed to come back, fix whatever the issue was, and that's bronze for the time being. Leia Lucas from France, 165, looking to retake. Again, failed on what looked like strength on her second. Can she also make that turnaround in that fight? 10 extra kilos for the podium overall.
If she hits this, she's still in the hunt for a podium finish. Precious 10 kilos. It's a different lift. It's a different lift this time around. Huge comeback.
And just like that, back in the game, back in the fight. Having a lot of misses in this squat session, which is really throwing around the leaderboard.
But we had a couple comebacks as well, including this young lady.
Megan Lee Smith retook that 167.5. Looks like they're taking either the planned second or maybe even less than the planned second here, I would imagine, with 172.5. Collecting as many kilos as possible. I think the smart move here, Ryan.
I agree it's probably less than the planned second, but if you look at the projected, if she hits this with her opening bench and deadlift, she'll be at 470. And that's still a monster total, even if a day ended with just that. And really, when you're Megan Lee Smith in New Zealand, you're trying to take the hope away from these other contenders and convince them you are vying for silver and bronze. Gold is mine.
And she's done a good job of it so far, even with a shaky start. Catherine Gagne, 172.5, got overruled by the jury on account of depth. Strength was not an issue by any means.
Well, every other 52 today that missed a lift has come back and hit when they had the opportunity. Can Kat continue that trend? She's just got to go a bit deeper and move fast. I look better.
I hope it was. I'm not sure. And it was 3 white lights, a good lift.
All of these ladies, when they had a second attempt, the weight they had previously missed, turned around and hit.
A lot of heart in this flight. Now our final squat in the 52s, none other than the current holder of the world record at 182.5, Plun Deckers. 180 was a scrap, but if anyone can do it, Plun Deckers can. 183 for a new world open squat record.
Yeah, it's a whole nother ball game this time though. The crowd is on their feet yelling at her. How many of these ladies struggled in the second round and came back stronger for the thirds? Plun can do the same. I know she hit, but it was scrappy. She can make this look clean if she could just find that other gear. 183.
Doesn't often miss. The record stays with her. Unfortunately, not extended today, but I'd love to see the stat of how many times she has broken that.
And it looks like we got ourselves a pretty tight battle underneath Megan Lee Smith, Amelia.
Yeah, especially with some of those misses between Deckers, Gagne, Lucas. It's going to be a tight battle for those podium positions. Even now with those openers on bench and deadlift, you can see they've shot right up above those B group lifters who've completed the day. Smith, Deckers, Gagne and Lucas. Not to forget Farid, who has a huge deadlift on her. Let's see how this pans out in the next couple of hours. For now, we're going to head into a short break before bench press. We'll catch you then.
Welcome back to the IPF World Championships here live in Druskininkai, Lithuania. I'm Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat, accompanied in the booth with Amelia Potter. And Amelia, taking a look at the 66s, the squats, we had Austin Nikolai with 257.5, Shell Becklin also 257.5, being slightly heavier, and Sataki with 247.5. But in the 66s, we did have some misses, which will lead to a bit of a shakeup as we look at the projected totals. Shell obviously well in the head. Once he gets his opening bench and deadlift, 732.5. That alone won't win it. He's going to have to get a couple seconds in there. But Ushiyama is in the mix. Joe Jordan, Austin Nikolai from USA. It's still anybody's ball game for that silver and bronze medal. And unless Shell can hit a couple seconds, maybe even the gold. Wee Ong, 122.5.
Held quite a while there at the top, but comfortable weight and a good lift. Now, we've seen some tricky bench sessions so far, and I just want to reiterate that's why your openers, particularly bench, I would suggest is something you're so comfortable with. You can do it 3 times, you can change your technique should you have to. And that was a good example of that. It's clearly an easy weight for him.
Yeah, earlier today I did the flight B for the 52s, and I could tell you no controversial calls in terms of the bench press. I think we have level set. We'll see how the bench calls impact the 66s and 52 flight A. Austin Nikolai, 137.5. Austin at Open Nationals opened with the same bench, 137.
It's very comfortable. It's only 7.5 below his best as well.
Difference being, U.S. Nationals, he left squat with 270.
The bar is loaded.
Mirko, 137.5.
Again, Mirko seemed to drop his opening attempt, just like his squat as well for bench. Managed to have a great comeback on that third squat.
Three white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Carlos Castillo of Canada, 145 for his opening bench.
It's 5 kilos below his personal best.
More smooth sailing.
The bar is loaded.
Yusuke Satake, 155 for his opening bench, representing Japan.
Lovely, tidy opener there and a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
USVI's Joe Jordan up next, 162.5. The day he hit that monster 732.5 at SBD Austin, he also opened with 162.5. Difference being he left the squat event with 260. Today leaving with 245. That 15 kilo gap really opens the door for the other contenders.
Very comfortable and just 7.5 of his best of 170, so in for a good bench session going off of that.
Yeah, Joe actually hit 175 at SBD Austin.
The bar is loaded.
Kyoto Ushiyama, 172.5. Rolling his back out a little bit. Get comfortable. Oh, that is a lot tougher you would expect from an opener. He gets it. But there's just not a lot of room there.
And he does still get a boost downwards movement, so the jury are watching that. Let's have a look at that again in the replay and hope we don't catch any down.
I saw pauses. I would let it pass, but I usually favor the lifter if I'm not sure. Disaster would strike if they overrule it. Is that an overturn? Shell Becklin, it got overturned. Oh gosh.
And
the drama continues.
I didn't think I saw a dip, but
I saw pausing. I didn't see a clear dip in my eyes, but 180 Shell Becklin.
Shell actually has dropped his opener to 180. So 17.5 kilos of his best.
Yeah, he previously, when he totaled 782, opened with 192.5. Just for an indication, I think he's taking his foot off the gas at this point. Doesn't need to take any major risks. Expecting this to be pretty easy. Not speedy, but yeah, Shell also giving the signal, felt all right.
But Chow feeling all right is enough for him
Yeah,
today,
well,
you know.
We're talking about Shell Becklin.
The bar is loaded.
Weiyong 127.5.
Full bar Kyoto getting that opening attempt in.
Interesting, Ushiyama, who missed his opener. 175 for a second, missed 172.5. Not sure of the plan there. Nicely done by Ong.
3 white lights, a little bit of 140.
3 white lights, a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
Mirko Simonelli, 142.5 for his second attempt. As we're already in the second round of a bit of a wild session, Amelia.
Yeah, we're seeing more misses than we'd expect to see in a primetime flight, as well as some tougher lifts than we'd expect to see earlier on.
Mirko handles the 5 kilo jump well, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Austin Nikolai, 145 for his second attempt.
Already looking to match his best bench here on his second. Trying to push that total as close as he can to that of Jordan.
I think he's hit 147 and a half. I think his profile might not have been updated, but this is unexpected. So he missed 145. He missed his third squat. He is not having the day he wanted.
He seems to say that the bar's rolling in his hands. Let's see if we can see that here. Yeah, you can see that his hands roll forward a little bit. So maybe something he can fix on that third, but it
Wrist
doesn't.
wraps,
Yeah.
gotta be said.
But something that hopefully can be fixed, and he can make up some kilos, but definitely not all the ones that he wanted.
Carlos Castillo, 150 in a session that's been rather hard to call.
And much more akin to a second attempt there from Carlos.
Carlos got a little swagger in the step as he leaves the platform.
The bar is loaded.
Yusuke Sataki, 162.5.
Moves him into bench silver for the time being, with Jordan to follow, and still Ishiyama without a bench in on the board in the second round of bench.
You got the feeling a lot can happen. Difficult to predict these attempts. 7.5 kilo jump. Nicely done.
The bar is loaded.
167.5 for the second attempt at Joe Jordan.
This is 2.5 kilos off his best, 170.
I think his profile wasn't updated though. He hit 175 at SPD Austin when he totaled 732 and a half. So we're still a little bit off the mark here. On that day, his second attempt was 170.
So it should all go well, perhaps a 172 third, but we're seeing some tough looking benches in this flight.
Right. He doesn't seem to be 100% today. Wow, okay.
Yeah, he wanted to prove you wrong there with a 2-to-1 good lift. He does get the call for elbow depth, and I'm wondering if that's why his opener felt a little harder. Maybe he was trying to adapt his elbows a little bit more and then relax them a little bit on that, because the right elbow, I can see where the red came from.
The bar is loaded. 175 Japan
jury out.
Ushiyama, sorry. Oh, the jury
Yeah.
overturning that on Joe Jordan. On depth, Ushiyama, 175, missed 172.5. I know it's only 2.5 kilos. However, this is bench press, and it's in and around his top end. Going up 2.5 kilos when you don't have an opener, especially if you have to do some technical adjustments. Oh gosh, I hope that passes in. Oh, it doesn't. And this is it where if it's depth and you have to make technical adjustments, let's take a look at this depth. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what passes and doesn't.
I mean, is he being penalized for having bigger biceps? You know, it's quite hard.
Rarely
to
in
tell.
life is that the case, but
Maybe here. Unfortunately, no dice. He has not got a bench on the board.
Shell Backlund, 185.
Three white lights, a good lift. As expected from Backlund, cruising through bench, still away off his best bench. So doing what he needs. He came off his opener saying something about it not feeling 100% right, but you know, getting his first and second in is more than enough.
Yeah, as we look at the subtotals here, Shell with a sizable lead, and he also has an absolute monster deadlift capable of breaking world records there. So when you have a subtotal lead and a world record deadlift in your back pocket, it's it's gonna be the toughest. 135 for Ong of Singapore. Oh no, just a little too much as we begin our final round of benching with a failure.
Yeah, maybe that jump a little overambitious, but he wasn't fighting for a position that would have given him a 2.5 kilo personal best, and perhaps that's what he was vying for, just the jump a bit too much on the day.
Austin Nikolai, one more attempt at 145. And you would say, look, I mean, it's difficult. He already has 145 down there. He misses third squat. You can't really adjust in the day now. Going into deadlifts, he's got to try to keep pace if he's going to leave with the medal. But, I mean,
Yeah,
Ushiyama is also in dire situation. Joe Jordan's missing, so who knows?
wrists roll a little less, but the strength just doesn't seem there on the day. And you're right, a lot of the top contenders for those podium positions below Backlund are missing.
If you're going to the back, if you have any solace, oh my gosh, I'm just not having a day I thought I would, the other contenders aren't either. And one of them's facing possibly bombing out. So hang tight.
And like I said before, you want to keep your eye, if that is the case, on Yusuke Satake, because he is sitting there in 5th, looking to push upwards, 4th being held on to Mario Liatis from the B group currently.
But if Ushiyama hits 175, he's right back into the conversation. 145, Mirko Simonelli. There's ifs all over the place here, though.
Strong third attempt there from Simonelli, and a 2.5 kilo personal best.
In a bench session where we're seeing some major lifts, Simonelli going 3 for 3 for Team Italy. Carlos Castillo, 155.
very comfortable third attempt.
Yeah. Where some are stumbling. Carlos of Canada, 3 for 3.
This is the last attempt to change the points to the 52s. Last attempt to change.
Satake, 165. A veteran in and out of equipment, World Games on the equipped side
And
at just 30 years old. Sorry, Amelia.
he's just super consistent today, slowly chipping away, and it could really be a superpower today.
Well, this is where a veteran like Satake might be able to seize the moment. Just 2.5 kilos he's adding to his total, but it might make the difference. And that was probably the right call for a third. 5 might have been too much. 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded. No more changes to the openers. This is a provisional bench press silver medal and guaranteed XD's bronze if your woman can do it.
Joe Jordan back, 170, missed 167.5, opting to go up 2.5 kilos regardless. Perhaps sensing if Ushiyama hits his 175, he's going to need these kilos. All right, now this all comes down to elbow depth because this is familiar territory. That's why he's not celebrating.
Yeah, the jury will be watching it, and so will we in this replay. It's the right-hand side again. Looking at that right elbow, and it looks better than that second attempt.
I think I'd pass it. I think I see the jury giving thumbs up. And the 2.5 kilos that USVI put on is going to help him, because if Ushiyama hits this 175, him and Joe Jordan are jogging beside each other. This is all or nothing for Kyoto.
Got called for downwards movement as opening attempt, adjusted, but in a different manner where he got called an elbow depth. Couple of issues to fix here if he wants to stay in the competition and in the fight.
And we wait with bated breath.
And we continue
2 white
to wait.
lights, but young man, please hold your celebrations. The jury's leaving. That looks good to me.
Yeah,
That looks good to me.
looks good to me as well.
The jury gives thumbs up. We're okay. All right.
Back in the game.
Ushiyama back in the game. Shell Backlund, 187.5 for the final bench in the 66 kilo class. Obviously, we'll move right into the 52s. This will move his total to 740, which on the best of days is more than the other gentlemen have ever hit, and doesn't appear to be that they're having the best today. Of course, that's dependent. He gets his opener on deadlift, and that looks good to me, Amelia. 3 white lights.
Consistent as ever. Walks off smiling. Like we said, he doesn't need to have his best ever day to walk away with the title, but he's coming out for all of those attempts to prove that he's going to continue fighting even without a head-to-head.
There's the bench gold to Backlund. Ushiyama on this last lift, 175, seizes the silver, and USVI's Joe Jordan taking the bronze. Overall, you see the subtotal with Backlund, Jordan, 30 kilos behind, and Ushiyama neck and neck with Joe Jordan. Satake not far off that. It's a close battle to get onto that podium. And with the look at it's going to be hard to call because we see seeing so many missed lifts. Some of these guys are not on their top form.
Yeah, and talking about fight for podium, same goes here in the 52s below Megan Lee Smith, who had a bit of a rocky start to squats. As we head into bench now for Hannah Farid, takes 67.5 for Singapore. Very comfortable opener. It was a dropped opener, so brought it down to make sure she gets it in. I think very sensible, whether that was because of how she was feeling or perhaps after some of the benching we saw yesterday, just looking to be safe.
I think it's the benching session we saw yesterday, and even with the men, some of the elbow depth calls, etc. I think some of these ladies are adjusting and they're national team coaches, and I think that's a good call.
Vanessa Pineda from the United States, 80 kilos, 5 off her best bench. Extremely comfortable, a good lift. Bench being the most technical of the 3 lifts, the most things that can go wrong, the most commands, it's certainly worth making sure that opening attempt is something you're extremely comfortable with. We saw a great example of that yesterday during the 47 bench session. Plundeckers looking to take 85 kilos here. And 2-1, a good lift. We see our first depth call for the 52 kilo ladies here for Plun. So we'll have a look at that in the replay. Gets called for that right elbow we see here on the screen. And she adopts a tucking motion, which is quite hard to see elbow depth because she's not going straight down with her arms. They're going more forward towards her stomach. Jury are discussing it, and unfortunately overruled Plundecker's opening attempt to a no lift.
And this is a big shakeup again. Podium favorite, missing an opener.
85 kilos for Leia Lucas. Match personal best in her opening attempt.
You're seeing why a lot of these ladies drop their openers. Take something that you might have to adjust with.
And that is a good lift for Lucas, 3 white lights. I think a little more tension in the air for this bench session.
Well, 3 white lights will take the jury out of it.
Eliza Gerlach taking 87.5 kilos for Poland. Wrists roll a little bit, but causes her no issues. 2-1, however, does get a depth call from that same right-hand side, so we'll rewatch the replay. As we know the jury lean into their screens, we will to ours. And I wait with bated breath, as I'm sure she does as well. But it looks like it will stand, unlike Dakar's Catherine Gagne. 90 kilos for her opening attempt, 5 below her best.
Looked like depth from this angle. 3 white lights. Refs agree. And a medal favorite gets her opener.
Our penultimate opening attempt, 2.5 kilos above her personal best, Margit Fawal. far, and an extremely easy opener, especially for a personal best.
Another 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Our final opening attempt here in the bench press session. Megan Lee Smith, she's dropped her opening attempt, which I think seems sensible, to 105. 105 still 2.5 kilos below her competition best, so still in that top end. It begs the question, what was her original opener?
So I think her profile is just not updated. She has bench 112.5. Previous last 3 comps, she's opened at either 105 or 105.5. Keeping pace with those previous bench sessions in her last 3, I think it's a good idea. This is not the time to open up with anything heavier than you're used to.
It's a very clean bench. Let's see if the referees agree, and 2-1 they do. Still getting an elbow depth call from the far side referee.
Once you
Ryan.
get a red, don't celebrate yet, and she's not. Jury leaning in. Let's take a look at this replay.
And that looks more than
That's
okay
good.
to me. I would be so surprised. The jury are nodding. They're
Yeah.
happy with it too.
The bar is loaded.
And that moves us to the second round of bench press, with Plundeckers yet to be on the board. Sticky situation for the Dutch lifter, projected in second. For Hannah Farid now to take 72.5, 5 kilo jump for 2.5 kilo personal best. Still moving comfortably for Fahana.
3 white lines included. 8 5 on the off. 11 different Netherlands or Latina Nina. The bar is loaded.
Plundeckers now looking to retake 85 kilos. Got it 2-1 from the referees. Jury overturned it to a no lift on an account of elbow depth. Now she is a strong favorite for the silver, but the gap is being closed by Catherine Gagne from Canada and Leah Lucas from France, and she really needs to get on the board with this.
That looks like depth from this angle.
Well, the thing is, I said this before, her opener, she tucks and she doesn't flare her elbow, so it's so much harder to see. There we go, she's on the board. And I would be surprised if that was much different from her opener. Just a different angle. You can see the way her elbows come down, but I'm glad to see her on the board.
So she's gone as heavy as 95.5. Where she'll go on her third now. A big jump for 52 in the bench press is going to feel, I mean, you might miss just due to that big jump. So it's, however, the other ladies are starting to catch up.
Made in at 85 kilos. And a good lift, 3 white lights. Yeah, and to what you were saying, Ryan, the gap is really closing with Plun missing that. So she's going to have to be sensible and try and collect the kilos, because she is being pressed by some big deadlifters as well.
Yeah, Catherine Gagne of Canada and Plundeckers in the projected anyways. Neck and neck, it's close. Leah Lucas.
87.5, taking 2.5 kilo jump here for Leah. This will be a personal best after opening on her best bench.
And Leah's also in that conversation. Let's see how this 87.5 goes though.
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. Out of those fighting for that bronze position, she also has the silver and bronze even. You know, she has the biggest pull of them all, ever so slightly, in terms of openers. Eliza Gerlach, 92.5 kilos, a 5-kilo jump to match her personal best. Did get an elbow depth call on her opener, but jury were happy enough with it. Oh, goes back towards her face there and just loses the line.
Not an optimal line. She fought to regain, but with that bar over her face.
And you can see a lot of chalk on her face, perhaps, you know, hyped herself up a little bit too much, lost some technique. Something that she can come back from, as long as strength wasn't piled onto that. Catherine Gagne now 92.5 kilos and well in the race, pushing Plun Deckers and trying to keep Leah Lucas behind her. In a great position, looking to pick up a medal and some team points for Canada.
Another 2.5 kilos for her total.
Margit Fawal, 102.5 for her second attempt. This would be a 5-kilo personal best. Already open on a 2.5-kilo personal best, so extending that even further here. Between her nationals and Europeans, she added 22.5 kilos to her total and is looking to push that further here today. Green white light is very consistent today.
The bar is loaded.
Now the bar is loaded for Megan Lee Smith, 110 kilos. As you said before, Ryan, a weight that she's done before, but very close to that top end that we've seen. Still with a significant lead. After a rocky start to the day, she's starting to pick up the momentum now.
The day she totaled 490.5. She squatted 175, benched 110.5. Still conceivable she'll end up in and around there by the end of the day. Let's see how this bench goes. That looks good to me.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. She is safe to move on to her third with no interruption.
The bar is loaded.
And we move through to the third round of bench press. All lifters now with a bench on the board. Deckers safe, retaking that 85 kilos. Smith leading the bench in gold for a while, holding on to silver, and Gagne with bronze as we move down to the third flight. 75 kilos for Farhana. Not quite there today. Got everything she could out of her second bench. Common phrase saying first out for bench, last out for deadlift in powerlifting.
Farhana does have a big deadlift. Can she close the gap to get onto the podium?
Plun Deckers hopefully picking up a little bit more momentum now. Not near her top end bench, but is aware that she's being pushed from behind, looking for an extra 2.5 kilos. Can she do enough today to make her competitors push for bronze? It's getting close.
Yeah, I mean, earlier when she was hitting around 460, 464 as a total, she was leaving bench with 182.5, 175. or sorry, not 182. That's where she's leaving squat. Sorry, and she missed the 183 squat. She's leaving bench with 87.5, 95.5, 95, 92.5 is more her top end bench. So slightly off the mark there with 87.5. Is it enough?
We'll have to see. She gets the extra 2.5 kilos, and there's still the entire deadlift event to come, and we've seen upsets, we've seen misses, so really there's a few names in the hat, but she's going to have to be on for deadlifts. Pineda now 87.5, and it's tough.
No, not today.
The bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Leah Lucas from France, 90 kilos, a personal best, and she is pushing that podium. Every kilo counts here. Leah herself with one of the bigger pulls out of those few fighting podium.
Too much on the day.
And with a few misses, if Gagne from Canada is able to make that final bench, she's putting herself in a very, very strong position to push for that silver and at the very least strongly protect that bronze. Liza Gerlach, 92.5, looking to retake it. Bar path moved towards her face in that second attempt, just couldn't regain it. Can she fix that up here on her third?
Looks a little bit about the same as the second attempt.
The bar is loaded.
Catherine Gagne from Canada, 95 kilos, and this would move her into bench press bronze ahead of Julia Cavallo from the B group. More importantly, gets her those extra 2.5 kilos to put the pressure onto Deckers. Heading into deadlift, this would separate them by 2.5 kilos. Wow, and she's on form.
Yeah, her and Team Canada knew they needed those 2.5 kilos on that projected. Just 2.5 kilos separate her and Plune. What color of medal do they want to walk away with?
We saw in the 47s Team Canada push and get that silver medal. Can they do it again today in the 52s? Mardeep Fawau, 105 kilos. For another personal best, opened on a 2.5 kilo PB and has pushed that further and further, and this would give her, with her deadlift opener, a 430 total. So if she's improved her deadlift as well, it'll be interesting to see how much further she can push up. Bit of an awkward bar path on the way down, and I think that caused her some trouble, but fights it up.
Yeah, she never quits that one. A moral victory, if nothing else.
I thought she was crying, but she's coming off laughing. I think she's accepted that was more of an awkward bench for her.
Tons of heart on display if she locks that out.
Still walks away with the bench press silver with her 102.5 second attempt. Wow. And here we have a world record bench press attempt for Megan Lee Smith. She has such a comfortable lead that she really does have the wiggle room to go for that record. The bar is loaded, 114 kilos to chip the current world record by 0.5 of a kilo.
Her bench press has come so far the last couple of years. 114 as a 52. Obviously a monstrous squat as well. I'd be shocked if she doesn't exit 2026 being the first 52 to total 500 kilos.
Wow, what a world record it is. You wait for the lights. They are good, and that is a new world record. And look how excited she is. What a phenomenal effort from Megan Lee Smith. And she is dominating, like you said, with the rate of progression that she is going at. She is going to keep adding kilos. What a fantastic end to the bench press session. Gagne walking away with bench press bronze, 95 kilos, hit by many lifters, but her at the lightest. Margit for wow in bench press silver with 102.5, and of course in gold, dominating the competition, Megan Lee Smith from New Zealand with a new world record, 114 kilos. Ryan, I think we're in for a treat in both 66 and 52 kilo classes. Fights all round for the silver and bronze. And we won't have to wait too long to find out how that pans out. We head into a 10-minute break now before the deadlifts. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the IPF World Championships here live in Druskininkai, Lithuania. I'm Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat, accompanied in the booth with Amelia Potter. And Amelia, as we look at the subtotals for the 66 kilo men's open class, obviously Shell, sizable lead, got a monster deadlift, but beneath him, 4:15, both tied, is Joe Jordan and Ushiyama, and directly beneath them by 2.5 kilos behind Sataki. This is a close race for that podium. Looking at the projected again, this factors in the opening deadlift, 695 versus 690. Sataki falling back with his opening pull being, nominated pull being 255.
Yeah, worth mentioning as well, it looks like Ushiyama has dropped his opening attempt on deadlift. Jordan has upped his.
Sataki, 255, kicking us off. Three white lights for the veteran.
The bar is loaded.
Carlos Castillo, 262.5 for his opening pull. Carlos representing Canada.
Been very consistent all day. It's a good lift. Secures his total.
Austin Nikolai, 270 kilos for his opening pull. Austin has gone as heavy as 297.5. He hit 295 when he won American Nationals. Makes easy work of that. For what it's worth, when he won American Nationals, he only opened up with 265. You got to think they're in the warm-up room. Either they're feeling good or they're feeling the pressure, and they got to make a risky move. Either way.
I think that was his planned opening attempt, so maybe even just prep, feeling really good, and hopefully deadlifts go better for him than he's seen in the other disciplines so far.
At this point, really got nothing to lose. He's fallen behind. He's got to do something to catch up. 270, Mirko Simonelli.
I mean, it's going to end up a tight race between Jordan, Nikolai, and Ushiyama. Bit of a wobble at the top there, but it moved well and it didn't throw him off. 3 white lights.
Ong, 275 for his opening pull, representing Singapore.
Still a way off his top end deadlift, so it should be a nice conservative opener here for Ong.
And it is 3 white lights. Solidifies his total.
Three big openers to follow now. Big in weight and importance.
Ushiyama opening with 275. I think this is a good idea. World Games, he totaled 717.5. He opened with 275. Only got 2 lifts in.
Yeah, he dropped his opening attempt and he almost got disqualified on the bench press, so just securing his total now is so crucial.
Nicely done. It can be a tough one to call. He's opened as heavy as 282.5, but then that's the only deadlift he'll get that day. He's opened as heavy as 277.5 at the Japanese Nationals, and then again missed that opener, retook it, and that was the only weight he got that day. Very hit and miss in the deadlifts. Joe Jordan, 280. When he was totaling 732.5, opened with 272.5, finished with 297.5. Opening with 280, it's confident.
Let's see how it moves.
Wow, that moved like an opener should.
Puts himself in a really strong position to fight for that silver medal. Gold just a little too far off.
We've never seen him open that heavy. Now, it's where you end up, not where you open. But at least an indication where his confidence level is with his deadlift. On the flip side, Shell Becklin has never opened this light in 8 appearances.
He also did drop this opening attempt. Like you said, he doesn't need to put on his best performance today to walk away the world champion. Might as well secure that total and have a little bit of fun. I imagine looking for the total he needs.
Very smooth and easy, as you'd expect.
And that is a good lift. Everybody on at the board. And even with that opening deadlift, that gives Chow 730 total and 114 GL points on a slightly lighter day for Backlund.
Taking a look at these deadlifts as they stand, you got to keep in mind we had a full deadlift session earlier today, and the current total 730. Joe Jordan, Ushiyama still neck and neck. Looks like the podium is beginning to settle, but what color of medal will Joe Jordan and Ushiyama have? Sataki 270. Based off the projected, they're both at 705, but Ushiyama slightly heavier than Joe Jordan. Sataki hits his second pull, 3 white lights.
Moving quickly through these deadlifts.
280 for Carlos Castillo of Canada. Sizable jump from 262.5.
Getting close to his personal best on deadlift and on total, and he seems super confident all day long. Little wobble at the top there, but looking very strong. And gets a yellow from the side referee, I imagine, just for that lockout at the top. And the jury are overruling that, by the looks of it, to a no lift for Castillo. Marco Simonelli. 280. Unfortunately, just seemed a little too heavy. It was very near his best ever deadlift. And by the looks of it, that was a strength issue. And that's really not something you can fix up on that final pull.
Although we have seen some lifters miss on strength, come back, and somehow hit.
Yeah.
It has happened before. Ong, 290, stays on the bar for his second pull. Particularly in the women's 52 kilo class. Not a snappy 290, but he gets it. 3 white lights. As Ushiyama comes out to 290. Ushiyama has hit as heavy as 300 kilos, but his hit rate all over the map, 15 kilo jump from his opener. If he's right now 5 kilos behind Jordan. If they both hit their seconds, they're neck and neck at 705. Ushiyama being slightly heavier. The last pull is going to split them. He needs this. And he hits.
Yeah, relatively clean second attempt as well, though he does get a blue from the far side referee.
That means the jury can intervene. They're going to review the tape.
So let's lean in ourselves. This is the side he gets that blue from.
I think his body move, but not the barbell.
The bar seemed pretty stuck in place. I'd be surprised if I saw an intervention.
Joe Jordan, 290 as well, neck and neck between these two individuals. Again, if he hits, this will put him at 705.
Not just if he hits, but if he does, how comfortable does he make it look? How much more can he add to it?
He's got body weight advantage, lot number advantage.
Wow.
He's got a couple advantages, and he made it look smooth.
Yeah, and he might have the advantage of pulling after Ishiyama. Ishiyama looking to move 5 kilos upwards.
And I think Joe Jordan probably has more than 5 kilos in him.
I would say so with a second attempt like that.
But again, he's got lot number advantage and body weight advantage.
Cards have fallen in his favor.
Austin Nikolai, 295. He hits this. This will move his total from 665 to 690.
Now it'd have to be a phenomenal second attempt and a pretty big jump to third to try and chase that podium at this point.
No, that's, well, his top end historically is 297 and a half.
Wow.
That's you're going to have to be a believer.
And it's a good second attempt, but I think the podium looks pretty decided at this point.
Yeah.
Still, that gives him 690 currently, so near that 700 kilo mark already. Looks like they've put a placeholder in for now, but I don't think a 25 kilo jump is on the cards.
Oh, don't be pessimistic. Shell Becklin, 300 kilos. His 285, that gave him 730 total. Probably locked in to win, if we're honest. This is 15 kilos. That'll move him to 745.
And it moves well, and it is a good lift. 3 white lights.
I believe last year he won with 742.5. He's already ahead of that this year.
World record total stands at 782.
Sataki 277.5. As you look at the deadlifts, Shell well in the lead, 300 kilos. Austin 295. The difference in speed, though, was a lot more than 5 kilos would indicate. 745 right now, current total for Shell. Joe Jordan and Ushiyama both at 705. Jordan slightly less body weight. Oh, Joe Jordan has 300 kilos for his final pull. Sataki stuck at his knees.
Not the day I imagined he wanted, but he ended with a total which during bench looked like a bit of a question mark. So well done for him to continue coming out and trying to push those top 3.
Marco Simonelli, 280 kilos.
Missed this on what looked like strength on his second attempt. Like you said, we've seen people come out and reattempt and get a lift after a miss on what seems like strength. Let's see if he can't do that.
Should he hit, he'll move Team Italy from 9th to 7th place. Nope, too much on the day.
Yeah, and I do think, you know, as I said in the second, it was a strength issue, and that seems to be the case.
.290 loaded for Carlos Castillo. You can hear him coming.
This is the most hype we've seen him all day long.
Yeah, he missed 280 on his second, going up 10 kilos regardless. This will move the Canadian from 10th to 7th. He's attempting to shoot up the rankings. Oh, wow, it's going to be close. Are those shoulders convincing? Are the knees locked? They are. 3 white lights. Gives his coach the guns. I told you so. Load it up.
Yeah, and what a comeback there from Team Canada. Castillo.
And
fantastic final pull.
A little bit of intensity and adrenaline. It's the best pre-workout you can bring to the table. 295 for Kyoto Ushiyama. This will move him from 705 to 710. And temporarily past Joe Jordan, who is slightly lighter.
It's slow, but it's moving just at the knees.
And Ushiyama, unfortunately, has missed his last 5 deadlift attempts. And of his last 8, he's only nailed 1. His success rate on his last deadlift is just so low. I don't know whether he's just got to adjust on the day, open lighter. Take a look at his attempt selection. But now Joe Jordan already at 705 as well as Ushiyama, and Joe Jordan being lighter has that silver medal locked up. Ushiyama in bronze. And we have 300 kilos from Ong representing Singapore. Oh, wow. Well, Austin Nikolai does have 320.
Yeah, well, that's why I was saying before, I don't think 25 kilo jump is in on the cards.
He can lower that and take a swing at bronze, which is probably a better
Could still be a 15-kilo jump from that second. You know, maybe they'll go for it if they feel like that is the move and it's on the cards. We'll have to see that, how that unfolds. Listen, I'm not psychic.
All right. 300.
A really tidy final pull there.
Yeah, nice final pull. Gets his shoulders back, hips forward, 3 white lights.
And he seems pretty happy with that, and he should be hitting that 300-kilo mark.
Joe Jordan up next. 300 kilos. He wants to put it out of reach for Austin Nikolai and convince Austin, you want a pull to beat Ushiyama and leave silver with me. Bumping his total from 705 to 715. You think should do that.
The second was easy, and so was the third.
Yeah, that was smooth. That was excellent pull, 315. Joe Jordan's biggest pull coming into this was 297.5. Absolutely titanic improvement on Joe Jordan's deadlift. My goodness.
And we have seen a drop from Nikolai to 310, so it looks like they are going for that 15-kilo jump to try and push themselves into the bronze medal position. And to the silver that would go because he's lighter than Jordan.
Jordan on the day.
No, sorry, bronze.
That's right. Yeah, bronze. Jordan on the day looked like he had more than 300. I would have put him at 305-ish, the improvement on his deadlift, but alas, we'll put a pin in that. 310 for Shell Beckland. We'll move from 745 to 755.
And it is a good lift. 3 white lights, almost got taken out by the brush there.
Nice workman-like 755 for Shell. He's pulled as heavy as he'll go into the 325 range. I know he had it on the board, didn't need it. And Austin Nikolai, 310 kilos. This will move him onto the podium and bump off Ushiyama.
295 was not the quickest in the world. To see how
This-
15 more kilos moves. It's way above his max.
Yeah, this is a 12.5 kilo personal best should he hit this.
What a comeback that would be for Austin Nikolai.
Crazier things have happened.
But unfortunately cannot break the ground. It was a big jump from that second. Doesn't lose position, still ends up in 4th, which is why they pushed for it. They were safe in that position. There was nowhere else really to go.
I'll be honest with you, even if he's going to lose a couple spots, but had the opportunity to finish on the podium, you might as well take a swing at it. As you look at the deadlift, Shell with gold, Ong taking the silver, and Joe Jordan with a snappy 300. Overall, Shell retaining his title, 755, once again 66-kilo champion. Joe Jordan was 715, taking silver, and Ushiyama of Japan, 705.
And we move immediately into the 52-kilo ladies. You can see here the order that stands. A quick look back there at the 59s, but the 66s, sorry, but we move into the 52s. Kicking us off, Eliza Gerlach, 155. That is a slow opener for Eliza, but she gets it, secures her total. And maybe she's a slow puller, it is conventional, but tell me what you think of that, Ryan.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, we're looking at a slow play replay here, but it was a little slow even live for an opener. We'll have to see if this is the way she pulls. It is conventional to your point, able to grind. She does start off with her chest relatively facing down.
Margit Fawar from Hungary, opening 167.5. 5 kilos below her personal best. Very, very comfortable. And like I said, she's really slowly climbing up. Currently sat in projected 4th. 12.5 kilos below Catherine Gagne. Any slip-ups and she could capitalize.
And we have seen some slip-ups.
Vanessa Pineda, 172.5 on the bar. Oh dear. And seems to just tip forward there, and that is a no lift Pineda on her opening attempt. Have a look here again in the replay.
The drama continues. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, the bar rolls forward and she
yeah.
tips over it. What do you reckon? A little bit of comp day nerves. What do you think is getting to?
The thing is, she's a veteran. I don't know if comp day nerves, just a slip up. The bar got away from her and she started pulling from, it was too far away from her center of gravity. She'll probably make an adjustment and hit.
Leah Lucas, 177.5. A little further away from the podium now that she's dropped her opening attempt. And Gagne has upped her opening attempt alongside Decker's.
Three white lights and it's good.
Catherine Gagne upped her opening attempt to 177.5 now.
And this is the biggest she's ever opened at. Move well.
Very comfortable. She knows that she's in a dogfight there at the top, and she's been very consistent today so far.
Coming into this, it appeared as though Pluen Deckers had quite a lead on Catherine Gagne, but this is very close coming into the deadlifts. And if Catherine Gagne's deadlift has improved, she's opening a lot heavier. I'm going to be interested if Pluen pulls sumo or conventional. For the longest time, she was a conventional puller. Recently, well, there we are.
Yeah, and she's upped her opening attempt, so feeling confident in it after dropping her squat and bench opener, upping her deadlift opener, looking to protect that silver.
Moved well.
Seems like there's some more thoughts behind that there, Ryan.
I'll keep them to myself for the time being.
She's on the board and currently protecting that silver medal very strongly in gold. However, Megan Lee Smith, 190 for her opening attempt, has a personal best of 205.
Yeah, we've never seen her open as heavy as 190. When she hit 490.5, she opened at 185. Her deadlift must have been improving. She doesn't feel pressure from behind here.
And can I say as well, this would give her 476.5, the world record total 482.5, and look how easy it was. For a little bit of time as well, she had trouble getting an opening deadlift in at all. A few competitions in a row, she missed her opening deadlift, and that seems to be well in the past for her. A whole new athlete. Rana Farid now Farhana dropped her opener just by 2.5 kilos here, but it's still a whopping 202.5.
And she's previously broken the deadlift world record, biggest pull she's ever had, 217.5. She opened with 202.5 then, so she's still on pace. We still might see a world record attempt.
Yeah, the world record stands with her now at that 217.5, so she could look, like you said, to extend that, maybe pick up a chip while she's here. So that concludes the opening attempts. All bar Pineda getting their total. But we move through to the second round, and as you said, Pineda, easy fix. The bar got away from her, and she just needs to get her head in the game, do her normal technique, and secure that total. The fight is between Deckers, Gagne, and if anything steps up for Wow, could definitely push her way in, as well as Lucas. Liza Gerlach, 160 on the bar. Opener was a little slow. Just jumped 5 kilos.
Yeah, this got even slower. We're getting towards the top end, 5 kilos.
And some lifters do just like opening heavy and making those smaller jumps. It's just perhaps what they're more comfortable with. Some individuals prefer only getting to that top end once during deadlifts.
We're definitely near that top end now.
We move on to Vanessa Pineda, and this is a really important lift, Ryan. She got the bar rolled away from her slightly on that opening attempt, but it was not a strength issue. She just needs to make sure she is tight and with that bar to secure that total. Decided to stay with the same weight, which is sensible. She's not fighting for a podium position. Get that total and push into the third.
This is only 2.5 kilos more than she opened with back at US Nationals. It's normal weight. I'm anticipating she does some small fixes, moves well beyond this. She's hit as heavy as 187.5. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, much, much better there. And she's on the board. 3 white lights, a good lift, secures her total. And that's everybody now in their 52s with the total secured. Marjit for Wow, 177.5 kilos. Looking to extend her deadlift and total PB. Already extended 22.5 kilos at Euros this year. And it puts her just 7.5 kilos behind Gagne.
Interesting. So Gagne opened 5 kilos heavier than she did at Canadian Nationals, but her second attempt is 2.5 kilos less than her second attempt at Canadian Nationals.
182.5 on the bar, 5 kilo jump here.
So this is, again, not where you start, but where you end up.
Seemed pretty comfortable in her opener, perhaps just looking to make sure she gets those kilos. It's a tight race and she knows it.
Puts her total at 450. Now, it nudges ahead of Plune Deckers, and likely Team Canada, just playing that game, nudge ahead of Plune. She is lighter than Plune. Plune's got a heavier body weight. Right now, she's at 450. Plune is at 447.5. So Plune can't match her total. He's got to go over. And I think they're going to try to force the hand.
Plune also jumping 5 kilos here to 185. She's hit 194 before. So hopefully comfortable enough for her.
Yeah, this shouldn't be the end.
And that is a good lift. She moves back into that silver position and is trying to protect that with the advantage of the slightly heavier deadlift and being able to pull after Catherine.
And the Canadians have Catherine with 187.5 for her third and final. That'll once again nudge her ahead of Plun and force Plun to pull for that silver.
Leah Lucas, 185. 2.5 kilos under her best here on her second attempt.
This is a heavy second attempt. Historically speaking, she's a young lady and reasonable to think she's made some progress in the deadlifts.
Fantastic second attempt. Plenty left in the tank there for Lucas.
I'd be comfortable with the 5 kilos.
I would also be comfortable with that based on how that moved. A little far off pushing podium, but we'll end on a pretty hefty total. These ladies are not messing around today. And speaking of which,
Yeah, this is
Megan Lee Smith on her second attempt.
This is crazy.
200 kilos.
She's never had a second attempt anywhere. The biggest second attempt I've seen from her is 195. She's pacing for something big.
And this will extend the current world record by 4 kilos on her second attempt. She is coming so incredibly strong.
It'll put her at 486.5. Her PR is 490.5. She was slightly over 52 kilo class, weighing in at 52.2.
Regardless, she is safe. The crown is hers. And so is the record. Look at that for a second pull. 3 white lights, a good lift, and a new open total record for Megan Lee Smith from New Zealand. And already a good athlete before, now a great athlete. She has really pushed herself the last couple of years.
Yeah, the pacing on her career as she was chasing down Evie Corrigan. Not quite the passing of the baton she would have liked at the IPF World Championships, but besting Evie's former best with that world record.
Now, speaking of within world record, Farhana Farid, 215, 2.5 kilos off her own world record for her second attempt. And should this move well, I can only imagine what that third attempt will be. I think that's good enough for 3 extra kilos. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, it's definitely there. And the world record in the 52s in the deadlifts for Farhana seems like Plun-Decker's in the squat world record. It's hers. She's going to be moving it down the field. Well, hopefully that's not a bad omen. Plun didn't do that today.
And we move now into the third and final round of deadlifts. As you can see here, the monster total held by Megan Lee Smith. She is not catchable by any means. Eliza Gerlach, 165 for a final pull.
We got some interesting third round pulls being placed, but you could change your third deadlift twice.
Yeah, we can see, as Ryan's alluding to, Farhana Farid put in 228 for her third attempt, and I would imagine that is to be dropped down. But we'll see, she's got time to do so. I think she's probably just looking to see what she needs to do, what she feels like she can do. 182.5 for Vanessa Pineda.
Move her from 9th to 7th place.
To 1, a good lift. She does get a blue from the left side referee. A little bit of a wobble at the top there, so we'll have a look at the replay. What do you make of this, Ryan?
No, you know what, to me, I think the body might have wobbled a little bit, but the bar did not, and that's really what counts. I don't see the jury taking any action. They agree.
Now, Marjit Bawal from Hungary, 185. This will take her from 8th into 4th on deadlift and
Remain fourth.
remain 4th,
total.
yeah. Wow, what a day she has
Yeah.
had.
Agreed. 450 kilo total. Not long ago, that'd be winning you the 52 kilo world championship. Very strong lifter from Hungary.
Yeah, and she came in today with a best total 427.5.
Huge improvement.
And before Europeans this year, 405. Catherine Gagne now 187.5, looking to pull herself into deadlift bronze for the time being. More importantly, back into silver overall, ahead of Plen Deckers.
And Team Canada really played this smart with her second attempt, the third, leaving enough room. Second attempt moved her ahead of Plun, forced Plun to hit hers. Doing the same here in the third. Excellent gamesmanship. And historically speaking, this is within her means. And she executes. There it is. Silver medal and forcing the hand of Plun Deckers.
And you can see an attempt change come in now. I imagine Deckers to drop to what she needs to push back into second. And that she has done from 200 to 190 just to get her total 2.5 kilos more than Catherine, so she's the heavier of the two. That's a 5 kilo jump from her second attempt, which seems reasonable.
Now, while she has hit 194, it is near the top end. She's walked away with 194 just recently at the Europeans. Of course, she tried 200.5.
So for deadlift bronze for the time being, but more importantly to secure that silver medal overall.
And she's pulling sumo. It might have seen some gains with the deadlift switch up. If she was considering 200.5 at Europeans, well, there you have it.
And Canada did all they could, but with a vet like Plen Deckers, you're going head to head with.
It was a lot closer than we thought it was coming in. We thought probably Megan Lee Smith, gold. Plun might threaten Megan, but likely just to settle for silver. In the unexpected battle for silver, Catherine settling for bronze nevertheless, but enjoyed the battle while it lasted.
Leah Lucas now 200 kilos. If successful, will give her the deadlift bronze and 4th overall. Huge final pull for Lucas.
She's previously PR'd with 187.5 coming into the comp. This is a massive personal best if she can hit it. But a potential bronze medal in deadlifts.
Yeah, not just a massive personal best, but a massive jump from her second. But just not there today, unfortunately. Loses out nothing by giving that a go.
It was going to be a really big ask.
Yeah, like you said, it was a big personal best and a big jump, but valiant effort. And each competition she does, she sneaks further and further up that placement.
It was one last attempt to grab a medal at the IPF World Championships. You might as well load up.
And with 2 deadlifts remaining, both record attempts in their own right, Megan Lee Smith, New Zealand, your 2026 52 kilo world champion, coming out for 205 to further extend the new total record to 491.5. And to what you said earlier, Ryan, you think by the end of 2026 you'll hit 500? I think it'll be much sooner than the end of 2026 by the looks of this.
Put $1 million on the table. I'm betting on it. She's hit 205 before.
And it's not there today, but she is a stone's throw away from not just that lift, but that 500 kilo total, and an end on 486.5 and her first world title in the Opens. What a day she's had.
I'll have a couple people DMing me looking for deposits on that million now, but give me time. It's only halfway through the year.
We can do some installments.
Right. Let me talk to my girlfriend.
We have one final pull, and my oh my, it is a big one. She has dropped, but still, Farhana Farid, 220.5 to extend her world record by 3 kilos. This is absolutely mammoth weight for a 52 kilo lifter for really any weight class.
And move her into the top 5, no less.
Of course, deadlift gold already taken by Farhana with her opening attempt. This is to extend her own world record.
Wow. Clean too, very, very clean.
And what Plun is to squats, Farhana is to deadlifts. Just so reliable, continuing to push her own record up and up.
Moving the record into the 220s now, a new barrier for the 52s. And looked like she had room to spare, if we're honest.
Where is that top end? And as we conclude the 52s, in deadlift bronze, Plun Deckers with 190. In silver, Megan Lee Smith with 200. And in gold with a new world record, Farhana Farid, 220.5. Now overall, your bronze medalist from Canada, Catherine Gagne, 455, just a stitch ahead of Margit Fawal from Hungary. Your silver medalist from the Netherlands, Plun Deckers, 457.5, just 2.5 kilos ahead of Catherine. And of course, your 2026 world champion from New Zealand with a new world record total, 486.5, Megan Lee Smith. And what a session it was. We had misses, we had records, we had everything you want from a powerlifting session. And what an end to the day. Well done to Megan for her very first open title. Ryan, what do you think of that?
I think Megan Lee Smith has established herself as the queen of the 52s, and we're beginning to see a new era dawn upon us. And underneath, the level that the 52s have risen in a couple short years, my goodness. 445 just a few years ago was winning it. Now that won't even get you a podium finish, barely get you a top 5 finish. And then looking at the 66s, well, what can you say about Shell Becklin? The guy is an absolute legend. His resume speaks for itself. I can't wait to see how far he takes that total. And the rest of the 66s, they got their work cut out for them.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you for joining us this evening. We will join you again tomorrow morning for the 74B groups, and join us in the evening for the 57 and 74A groups. We'll catch you then.
kilos goes to Yusuke Satake of Japan. Yusuke Satake of Japan, please stand on the third place podium for squat. The silver medal with 257.5 kilos goes to Shane Bakkelen of Norway. And the squad gold with 257.5 goes to Austin Nikolai, USA. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. In the bench press event with 170 kilos, the bronze medal goes to Joe Jordan, US Virgin Islands. The silver medal with 175 kilos goes to Kyota Ushiyama, Japan. And the gold medal with 187.5 goes to Shane Bakkelen, Norway. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. In the deadlift event with 300 kilos, the bronze medal goes to Joe Jordan, US Virgin Islands. The silver medal with 300 kilos goes to Wei Ong, Singapore. And deadlift gold with 310 kilos goes to Shane Bakkelen, Norway. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations once again. Now for the total rankings in bronze medal position with 705 kilos is Kyota Ushiyama, Japan. In silver medal position, in your vice champion of the 66s with 715 kilos is Joe Jordan, US Virgin Islands. And your 66-kilo world champion from Norway with 755 kilos, Shane Bakkelen. Gentlemen, congratulations. Please stand in the middle of the podium for a photo op. Everybody please stand if you can for the Norway national anthem. for the 52s, so please prepare for their medal ceremony. Please gather at the platform entrance with our technical controller for the medal ceremony. Everybody please a round of applause for the 52s. They will present the medals by the Vice President of the IPF, the President of the IPF, Sigurjon Pedersen. Ladies and gentlemen, in the squat event, with 172.5 kilos, the bronze medal goes to Megan Lee Smith, New Zealand. The silver medal with 172.5 goes to Catherine Gagne, Canada. Squat gold with 180 kilos goes to Blunt Dekkers, Netherlands. Thank you, ladies. Congratulations. In the bench press event, with 95 kilos, the bronze medal goes to Catherine Gagne, Canada. The silver medal with 102.5 kilos goes to Margit Lehochkin-Efawal, Hungary. And bench press gold with 114 kilos and a new world record goes to Megan Lee Smith, New Zealand. Thank you. Congratulations. In the deadlift, with 190 kilos, bronze medal goes to Blunt Dekkers, Netherlands. Silver medal with 200 kilos goes to Megan Lee Smith, New Zealand. And deadlift gold with 220.5 kilos and a new deadlift world record goes to Farhana Farid, Singapore. Thank you. Congratulations. In the overall rankings, with 455 kilos in total, the bronze medal goes to Catherine Gagne, Canada. The silver medal and the title of the vice champion with 457.5 kilos goes to Plum Dekkers, Netherlands. And with a new world total record of 486.5, your 52 kilo world champion is Megan Lee Smith, New Zealand. Now everybody please stand if you're able to.